Okay, so today we have a very important topic. We are going to be talking about dethroning a king, dethroning Bitcoin as king of crypto. Just who do you think could actually replace Bitcoin? Not just as a store of value, but maybe as a cryptocurrency, maybe as some sort of like dApps based thing like Aetherium. So has the potential, who is most likely to actually replace Bitcoin? And there's quite a few up here on the list. But first of all, I'd just like to point out something, and that is if you are expecting some sort of knight in shining armor to be coming along the cryptoverse there and just sweep you off your feet as something new, completely out of nowhere, and takes over the entire cryptocurrency universe, I do not think that is going to happen. And this is the reason. So if we take a look at social media. So as we know, with technology, everything just advances and gets quicker and quicker and quicker all of the time. So unlike the older things back in the agrarian age or in the industrial age, where things took a lot longer to come about, these days they happen fast, they happen a lot quicker. So this was in 2002 when Friendster was really, it launched itself into social media, and everybody that wanted to be on social media, which wasn't many in those early days, they'd have gone to Friendster. It was pretty much the only one. And then just 2 years later, here we go, this was Facebook, created there in 2004. I myself wasn't on Facebook until maybe 2007. And I don't think Facebook ever really took off properly until maybe 2009, when they started allowing other people on the platform to come in with the games, things like Mafia Wars and what was the other one, Farmville, all of that. It just seemed like everyone was playing Farmville, and all the news feeds were just full of people playing different games. So that really fueled it, and everybody was jumping on Facebook back then. The whole point of what I'm saying here is Facebook needed to come in fast before Friendster or MySpace or anybody else really got pure saturation into the market and real sort of dominance in that market. Now, when it comes to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has been around since the beginning of 2009. So do we really need to wait like 10, 15, 20 years until something completely brand new and fresh comes out of nowhere and then just takes over the entire market? You know, do you think that's going to happen? Not a chance. I think the one which will someday replace Bitcoin as top there, king of the cryptocurrency world, is already out. It's already up there on the periodic table of cryptocurrencies. It will be somewhere up there in the top 20. And right now, it's just building its user base, building its brand, making itself better so that one day it will be able to take the crown from Bitcoin. So just the other day, I was just browsing the internet looking for some ideas as to what it could be. Come across this article here: 26 non-crypto celebrities into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, just trying to get some ideas as to what maybe could replace. Right there, you've got two suggestions: Ethereum or Ripple. Okay, and as we go down, great film there, The Big Short. If you've not seen The Big Short, watch it. What are you doing? I mean, look at where we are right now with this pandemic.
They call me Chicken Little. They call me Bubble Boy. A's, 0. B's, 0. Double B's, 0. Triple B's, 0. And then that happens.
What is that?
That's America's housing market.
Great film. Really open your eyes up to what's going on right now. Ashton Kutcher, massive into Bitcoin and stuff. Jennifer Lopez, Jerome Flynn, Ellen, whoever that is, no idea, some American lady. This one here caught my eye. So this is Mariah Carey, and they're talking about something that's used by musicians here. So what I did is I wanted to kind of check that out, and I found it was this here. So they're accepting Manero, and just look at who's accepting Manero on their website. We've got Alice Cooper, Anthrax, B-52s. Who else might we've actually heard of? This was that Five Finger Death Punch, Godsmack, him. No. Judas Priest, Lamb of God, Mariah Carey, there she is, 15% off if you want to be buying some Mariah Carey stuff in Manero. So, another great reason to be using Manero. We've got Marilyn Manson in there, Mastodon, Ministry, Rob Zombie. So what I decided to do was just go ahead and try and actually buy some stuff with Manero just to see if this is actually real, and you can actually still do this. It's not just some old article. So it goes over here to... this is what it's all about. This is Shop with Manero with Coral Reef. So if you want to check it out, you can see it for yourself. So I came over here to the Rob Zombie merchandise website here on his site. And I wanted to go ahead and see if I could buy a Rob Zombie t-shirt. And so I went all the way through the ordering site here. And then it gives you can put in your credit card information. You could pay by PayPal, or... where are we? There we go. We can pay with Manero and get 15% discount. So there you go. It is true. You can actually pay with Manero. So if anybody tells you that crypto is great, but you can't actually buy anything with it, then there you go. You can. Not just paying for your Master Ninja access there over on our site with your crypto, you can actually buy stuff off celebrity websites as well. And that reminded me of something that we used to have in the whale fuel module, was a coin related to this one here. This is Token Stars. So they came out with this Ace token and the Team token. That was it, right? So Ace and Team, and they were basically tokenizing sports stars, so that you would buy these tokens. You got this one here, tennis player, football player, and then that would give you some sort of access into their life and what they do, and secret videos and who knows what, maybe chances to go and see them in sporting stuff. I don't really follow much sport, as you might have guessed, so I don't know much about it. But it's just interesting the innovative ways which blockchain is being used now to sort of monetize things that were never monetizable before. Just monetizing celebrity, monetizing sports stars, just allowing people that are fans more access through this sort of controlled system which is created there by the blockchain. So I think it's very interesting, and of course the best platform to be doing anything like that is of course Aetherium. And if you take a look up on the periodic table of cryptocurrencies, we can see over here on the very first year, so each one of these is a snapshot of the market cap of each of these cryptocurrencies on the very first day of January each year. And so the very first year we can see that Aetherium was in the number 2 spot, and then the next year it was in the number 3 spot, and then over here it was back up in number 2, so pretty stable. However, let's check out Manero, and Manero, it was originally in the number 10 spot, then it fell back to the number 14, and then just this year, now it's in number 16. So every single year, Manero just seems to be sliding backwards, okay? Whereas something like XRP was in number 4, then it was in number 2, now it's in number 3. It's always up there in the top 5, so one to be wary of for sure. XRP doesn't seem to be going anywhere at all. You have a look at Bitcoin Cash. In the same year it came out, it was number 3 in CoinMarketCap, right up there. And then the following year, it fell down to number 4. And then this year, it is now in number 5. So Bitcoin Cash, just like Manero, just seems to be getting farther and farther behind there. So Bitcoin Cash, not too good. That's one of the things I absolutely love about these posters, by the way, is just being able to sort of track the currencies over time, see how they sort of flow around that board. It's pretty cool. Okay, so here is my quick rundown of how I see each of these top coins which have a potential to replace Bitcoin. First up, we have Litecoin. So as I was saying, first of all, we want coins which came out relatively as close as possible to the original, because they've had time to gain some sort of market traction in there. And also, you know, if you're looking at these and how they've performed over the years, you can see that something like Litecoin has definitely had some sort of magnetism to its top spot there in market cap. So as we look there at Litecoin, It's really good, and I think it's going to be around just as long as Bitcoin is. But it is, as Bitcoin is the gold, it is the silver. It's always going to be coming up second, no doubt about it. And as I've mentioned in other videos that I'll leave a link for up there, Litecoin and Bitcoin have a very correlated trading range, you could say. Okay, so it always sort of it falls between these two positions with Bitcoin over the last like almost 10 years now. You know, it goes down low, that's where you want to buy it, and then it goes up again, you want to sell it, it goes back low. It's great. You can make so much money doubling up your Bitcoin every single time on those ups and downs. So yeah, definitely Litecoin's great. I think it's going to be around just as long as Bitcoin is, but I don't think it's got any chance really of replacing Bitcoin. Next up, we have XRP. Now, XRP came out in August of 2012, so again, very close to Bitcoin, and it's gone up quite a lot, okay? And as we just saw, it's kept its position very well, and when it comes down to transaction speed, there's not really anything which is going to be as good as XRP. Now, that's mainly due to the fact that there is no proof of work or even proof of stake. It's just a privately owned blockchain. It's like a privately owned database. And all you're doing is just putting transactions through, and you can put through as many as you want, and they can add them to their database very quickly. And you've just got to trust that their database is actually a proper legit blockchain. There are also absolutely no worries whatsoever when it comes to liquidity, because they've got like 100 billion of these XRP tokens, so you can easily supply the entire world with tokens, and the price, the value wouldn't really need to be raised all that much at all, because there's just so damn many of them. Okay, so XRP definitely a contender for possibly being used as a currency, or maybe Stellar Lumens, who knows. So one of those two for sure. And then we got Dash. Now Dash is digital cash, and down in South America I believe they're already accepting it as payment in KFC and maybe a few other stores as well. So Dash, definitely one you want to keep your eye on, mainly because it has already got that stake into market penetration there with real world businesses. However, when you look behind me and see how it's actually performed, just like Bitcoin Cash, over the years it has been slipping backwards a little bit. So not necessarily one that's going to replace Bitcoin. However, proof of stake, the masternode system over the mining system, definitely works much better, and it's a lot faster and a lot more energy efficient and cheaper to run. So I think, yeah, Dash is really good. Probably not as big as it probably should be, in my opinion, but it's pretty good. And then we've got Aetherium. So Aetherium came out in July of 2015. So we're kind of stretching it out a bit now. You know, we're getting to the sort of 5-6 year mark now. But Aetherium is not just any old blockchain made for taking transaction records. You know, it's not just blockchain to like store transactions in a ledger. It's also a platform for distributed applications itself. In fact, some of the biggest growing cryptocurrencies right now are ERC20 tokens, which run on the Aetherium platform. So just over here on the masters area of our current site here, you can go to Blockbuster Crypto, and you can see now over the last couple of years, I'm not sure about this year, here we've got Chainlink. So Chainlink is an ERC20 token. It actually runs on Aetherium. And see if I can spot another couple here that might be, I don't know off the top of my head. I know Engine Coin is definitely running on Aetherium as well. Obviously Aetherium is, but we've got a much better tool. So this one doesn't tell us, but in the new Mutual Ninja 2.0, which is coming out in about a week, which I mentioned in the last video, we can see a lot more. So this one, 2020, you can see Chainlink is up there. Here, 2019, we can see Engine up there once again. And I'm not sure where Chainlink's gone in that year. And if we go to 2018, there we go. We've got Chainlink right up there in the #1 position, followed by Binance Coin, followed by Engine again, another ERC20 token. Anyway, Let's get over now to the new site. We'll check this one out here called the Watcher. And this is basically looking for undervalued coins. So right here, the table below shows that currently you're plus 25% below a recent 30-day high and have a daily average volume of $50,000 plus. So yeah, basically what we're doing is we're looking for any cryptocurrency out of 2,000 every single hour, and we're looking for ones which over the past 30 days worth of prices that they've fallen over 25%, because obviously that's a dip, right? That's a dip. That's where you want to buy it. So that's why we made the Watcher. So we're looking out for that. We've got some of these here. MineBee. Look at this. It's an ERC20 token. So that's fallen quite a lot. Then we've got credits as well. I'm not suggesting you buy any of these. Obviously, you'd have to have a look into them. I don't trust credits myself. But right here at the top, we can actually switch between them. So these are all the mineable coins. So this is all proof of work. And again, you can see here, this is the recent high. It's down minus 33 all the way down there. So minus whatever there at the bottom. Basically, we're only showing coins which are below a previous high, not the ones which are going up. There we've got the master nodes. And here, this is the interesting one. So this is tokens. This is every single coin in the top 2,000, which is currently negative right now. And these are ERC20 tokens. Anyone where you see Aetherium, that's running on the Aetherium blockchain. And we can see how many Aetherium are there compared to other dApps-based platforms. So there's lots of these dApps platforms coming out now. There's all kinds. Obviously, there's Tron, there's EOS, I think A-Chain, and a few others. There's quite a few of these Ethereum platforms out there. But as you can see, just scrolling down through this list, oh, look, here's another one, Neo. So Neo's another one, but that is Neo Nash Exchange, whatever. So obviously that would be. Got a few here that say Binance Coin. I'm not sure why. I didn't know Binance Coin was a platform. But yeah, mostly you're looking at Aetherium, Neo, obviously that's Neo Gas, okay? And then we got Neo, you've got V Systems, I don't know what that is, ADA, mostly, you know, 99.99% of these. Oh, there we go, we've got, oh, Wirex token. Wirex token is actually Stellar Lumens, I didn't know that. And this one here is also Stellar, but yeah, by far, the majority of these coins are all based on Aetherium. So not only is Aetherium the sort of powerhouse behind the whole blockchain ecosystem where you're bringing in that tokenization of businesses, celebrities, and all of that type of stuff, you can do that with the ERC20 tokens. Aetherium is the place where you want to go to sort of build a business around blockchain. It is absolutely the undisputed king of all distributed applications platforms. So I think going forward, as this type of development increases and more people want to get into creating their own distributed application running on a blockchain, more and more businesses wanting to get into this type of stuff, let's face it, Aetherium is just absolutely killing it as the dominant dApps-based platform out there. Without any doubt, you can see that. But let's not crown it king just yet. We've also got one more here. We have a Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash came out in August 2017. And it came out as a replacement to Bitcoin because the guys behind it, which were always big Bitcoin supporters beforehand, now they had noticed the glaringly obvious that you could no longer use Bitcoin as an actual form of currency because it was just too slow, wasn't it? You know, it just takes hours for a transaction to go through. The more busier the network gets, the slower things get, the more expensive it gets as well. Sometimes you could be paying up to like $50 just to send some Bitcoin. It was crazy expensive. Now they've brought out this Lightning network, but is it going to work or not? I don't really know. But what these guys did is they brought out a fork of Bitcoin. So they just split Bitcoin and they took Bitcoin blockchain in two separate directions. That means that the history of all the ledger, which is in Bitcoin, is also in Bitcoin Cash up to the point where Bitcoin Cash had forked off and gone in a new direction. And there is, of course, another form of Bitcoin Cash called Bitcoin Cash SV, which is then a fork of the fork of Bitcoin, and it just gets ridiculous at that point. Okay, so I think Bitcoin Cash, the only difference with that and Bitcoin is the fact that they increased the size of the blocks so that you could fit more transactions in there, but it's still a 10-minute block time. Now, it should be a bit cheaper to use and be a little bit quicker because you're not waiting around in the transaction pool waiting for it to get put into a block. Rather, pretty much all the transactions can go into any old block because the block size is so big. The only problem is other than that, it's still just the original Bitcoin source code. It's not much different from what I can tell myself. So I gotta be honest, having used Bitcoin Cash, I do like it. And, I kind of like it more than Bitcoin a little bit. And the problem is everybody uses Bitcoin. No matter how slow it is, no matter how expensive it is, people still use Bitcoin. So when people are upgrading there on our site, over here, one of the options is to pay for that £127 for lifetime membership. You can pay for it in Bitcoin Cash, you can pay in Dash, in Ethereum. But I'm telling you now, 99.8% of the time, everybody chooses Bitcoin, okay? I don't know why. It's probably because that is the currency that most people tend to have. Everybody has Bitcoin. We did have one person once pay with Dash. Only once. Predominantly every transaction, always Bitcoin. Some in Ethereum. We've had a couple in Bitcoin Cash. But yeah, as I say, 99.8% of the time, people are going to pay in Bitcoin. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts behind just which one you think will replace Bitcoin. But before that, I have got this. I've done some predictions for the next all-time highs for all of those coins that we've just been mentioning there. So here we have Bitcoin. So this is all the same data that was in the previous video or the one before that about Bitcoin. So this is the halvings. This was how much Bitcoin was on the first halving date, what the all-time high was, obviously 9,000 odd percent up. And then we've got the low, 150, which was 87% down. And you see where we're going with that. So we've got the last halving, that was in 2016. And then the all-time high, just under $20,000. That was only 3,000%. So do bear in mind here that for the first, it went up near 10,000%. Then it went up near 3,000%. And now I predict, based on my calculations in the previous video, and also backed up by the stock to flow model, also backed up by this, whatever his name was there that we mentioned in the last video that said about 200,000, I reckon we're going to about 190,000, and that gain is still going to be less than it has been the previous two times. So, we're talking about a third of the gains that we got last time, but still at that, under 2,000% increase, you're still talking $190,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so you just have to realize that it seems like a big number, but compared to the other cryptos, it's still really not that great a gains for crypto. And for all the rest of these cryptos here, where we've got the gain, we've got it as 7,201, and you can see that's the same for all of them. Now, we could have tried doing something more interesting with the top one here for Litecoin, but do notice that the first one is significantly lower than the last Bitcoin halving all-time high period, okay? Whereas Bitcoin was highest first, and then it's been getting less and less. So obviously, what we're going to say that it's going to be higher, and then higher again and higher, that would be ridiculous, okay? I hope you realize how ridiculous that could get. All that I did here, bearing in mind that most of these do not even have a previous price point to even go off. I mean, there's no history there at all with them. What I basically did is I took all the previous ROIs and then just divided them up and got an average there of 7,000, minus this one here from XRP, because that was 56,000% gain there for XRP. It was crazy. I mean, there's just no way. But even if it still went up about 7,000%, right, which would be kind of in line with the average for all these altcoins, you're still talking $15 XRP. And I know that with all those XRP haters out there, they thought of anything going over $10 there for XRP. It just seems utterly ridiculous. And I think when you look properly at XRP's real use case, as it is right now, there's just no way it should be that price. Just no way. But who's to say that on the back of Bitcoin and everything else going up, that maybe it could actually do that. But even if it did, even if XRP does go to $15,000, you might still be better off at Litecoin. Litecoin's going to go to $3,000. Or Dash. Dash could go to $6,000. Ethereum, $15,000. At the end of the day, you're still going to be in there in the range of about 7,000% increase on average for the altcoins. From what we know, based on the previous percentages up for the ROIs there. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash could go to 17,000. What I would suggest is probably to have a little bag of all of them. Don't go all into XRP. Even if it gets to $15, who cares? You might have been better off with Aetherium. And I think Aetherium, for me, is my personal favorite for replacing Bitcoin. I think as the years go on, Bitcoin's usefulness is gonna kind of, I think it'll be great as an asset like gold, but really being able to be used is maybe not so much. I think Aetherium definitely has a lot more potential. However, saying that, the really bad thing with Ethereum is, of course, the amount of transactions per second. I think it's only about 11. Is it 11 or 15? So, Bitcoin is 7 transactions per second. And then you've got new ones coming out now, like Tron and all that, doing like thousands of transactions per second. So I think there's definitely a lot of scope for maybe something like XRP, possibly, to start being used for actual real world transactions. Maybe Stellar Lumens might be the better option there. But yeah, for sure, as a currency, as a way of making a payment in seconds at a checkout there, in the coffee shop, whatever, I think the faster payment systems is the way to go. Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe not, but Ethereum definitely as for businesses. As you can see, I'm pretty torn, okay? I don't have anything absolute there for you this week, but definitely Aetherium is awesome, is what you can take from this. That's it from me. Do let me know down in the comments below what you think is going to replace Bitcoin, what you think has the most potential. Maybe it's something I haven't even mentioned. That would be interesting. Do let me know, and I shall see you in the next video where we should be going over all of the new stuff coming out in the new Mutual Ninja 2.0. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon, of course. And that's it.